Guys, we're going to talk about the long irons right now. Once again, I see faults all the time when we're playing pro-ams and lessons and stuff like that. And the biggest fault I see with the longer irons is people really try to lift the ball, which is by far the biggest mistake that we can make. So I'm going to grab a ball just for a second. I'm going to show you when we lift it, this is what happens. So we'll take this black line right here of the golf ball. So what we're trying to do, now keep in mind, the sweet spot of my golf club is right where my finger is. So if we try to actually lift the golf ball, as the club comes in, we're hitting up on the golf ball and we're creating topspin. And as you can see, I'm hitting it. This is once again the leading edge. I need to actually strike the golf ball in the sweet spot. So as we come in, we come up, we try to lift it, we create topspin. When we play golf, the most important thing about golf, and a lot of people need to understand, is the dimples are there to help you. Okay, there's like $1 billion worth of research goes into these dimples every year. Different sizes, different depths, and different numbers. Hexagon patterns, there's all kind of different dimples, but creating backspin, everyone needs to have it. We need to make sure we hit below the equator of the black line. If we hit above, we get topspin. So as you can see, that ball's going top. If we hit below, the ball tumbles this way, and then we get elevation and we get lift. So once again, we want the ball to physically spin backwards all the time. So as you can see, that ball's rotating backwards. For me to achieve that, I've got to hit below the black line down here, and the ball spins back automatically. So when I see people playing golf and they bring out a long iron and they kind of topping it all the time, it's because they're physically trying to lift the golf ball, which is the worst thing that we can do. We need to hit below the equator, which is below that black line right there. Get some backspin, the ball spins back, the wind grabs the dimples, elevation happens. I'm going to get a little closer to the golf ball right here, and you'll see basically as I try to lift the golf ball, and I'm going to go real slow so you can see it in the camera. I'm going to try and lift this golf ball, the club comes in, and basically what happens, I feel like I don't have enough loft, and the club's coming in, and I'm trying to lift the golf ball. And the club comes in, and we top it, and the club comes up. So we're always kind of lifting the golf ball when we hit the irons bad. So I'll try and get that black line nice and straight for you to where you can see. So once again, a bad shot, the club comes in, and we're going to come into impact, and basically we're trying to feel like we don't have enough loft. We're trying to lift the ball, and as we try to lift the ball, the club comes here and comes up, and I'll show you what one of these shots looks like. So I'll go very slow, and you'll see this thing's going to run along the ground, unfortunately. So we're going to go very slow, and you'll see I'm going to top this one, and the club's going to come up just before I get to the golf ball. And you can see it's rolling along the ground. So to fix this, all I'm going to do is make sure that I touch the ground. So we go back to the original statement. Our goal is to return the club to its original position. You'll notice when I set up, my club is touching the ground. So when I hit the golf ball, I must touch the ground. So I'm going to strike a shot right here. I'll go real slow. The golf ball should get airborne. Okay, so I'm going to make sure I hit the ground. And you can see the golf ball is in the air. It's a pretty good shot. Now you'll notice on the PGA Tour right now, they're coming up with stats. The stats are very, very important right now. And you'll see proximity to greens, smash factor we talked a little bit about before, greens and regulation. I just want you, what I'd love for you guys to do for me is keep some information and just take a separate scorecard out there and mark down how many fairways you hit in regulation. So obviously for a par 4, if we hit the fairway, obviously we're going to get a dot or a slash or however you want to mark it. Greens in regulation. To hit a par 4 in regulation, that means we hit it in 2. To hit a par 5 in regulation, that means we hit it in 3 shots. To hit a par 3, that means we hit it in 1 shot. So it all goes down. Each hole, golf will give you 2 putts per hole. So if you just take 2 off the number of the holes you're playing, it'll basically give you how many shots you should be on. But the information would basically help you as a player really work on the things that you're hitting bad. 90% of guys today think they hit the driver bad. But if you look at the stats, they might be driving it good, but they might be putting it bad. So identifying our weak areas in our golf game is really what we need to emphasize on, and then take that information and work on the weak areas. But once again, guys, they just want to come out and they want to hit the driver as hard as they can all the time. But basically, I've got to get some information for me to take that swing to the next level or identify the flaws in that golf swing. Stats, information is the best way that we can come up with a program to make sure that you play better for a longer period of time. So once again, greens and regulation, par 3, you got 2 shots to get on. Par 4, 2 shots to get on. Par 5, we're going to give you 3 shots to get on. So you're always going to have 2 putts. So once again, let's go back to this thin shot with the iron again. Most important thing, you must touch the ground at every golf swing you make. Hitting the above the equator will create topspin. Topspin creates no lift. Hitting below the equator creates backspin. Automatically we get lift. So once again, there's a couple ways that you can contact us here at Shell Point. And basically phone number 239-433-9790. Or you can contact us on the web at www.shellpointgolf.com. Thank you.